Hello and welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas. This is day 4 and today I'm going to be attempting to make a decoration and do sort of a DIY craft, which I don't normally do. I'm not very good at crafts, don't normally even attempt them. So hopefully this will go well and smoothly and we'll have a nice pretty decoration at the end of it. But basically they are going to be mason jar, they call them kind of votive holders, but there's a number of different things that you could put in them to make them decorative. But I've just picked up some little battery operated fairy lights that I'm going to put inside, and hopefully it's going to have the design of a Christmas tree for the lights to show through. So we'll see how this goes. And if you want to follow along or do this for yourself and want to know the supplies that you may need, then I will be linking the website that I used in the description box, so you'll have everything you need there. I did go off of the instructions a little bit in that they filled theirs with kind of sand and some other stuff, and I didn't really want to do that, so I just replaced those things with the fairy lights. Also, upon my mom, who was an art teacher's recommendation, I'm going to attempt using a sponge brush instead of a regular paintbrush, but I did get a regular paintbrush in case this doesn't work. The paint I have is chalk paint, matte finish acrylic paint. Basically, I think it's supposed to dry quickly and hopefully not streak. And then I just got a little bit worried because the painter's tape that I'm using has writing on it. But considering that I'm just using it to cut out the pattern of the tree, I'm hoping it won't matter, but we'll see. And I'm just going to start with one jar, see how that goes, and if it goes well, then I'll do the other jar. That piece didn't go flat, and I'm pretty sure it has to be perfectly flat, so I'm not even going to take the chance and just redo that piece. Now I'm going to attempt to cut out the Christmas tree pattern, and Duncan wants to say hello and be in this video, but I'm not always the most precise with cutting, so okay, I did it. Came out pretty good. I will say though that, just a little tip, I used cardstock because I found that would be a little more firm than loose regular paper that might be a little bit more flimsy, so the thickness of the paper made it a little bit easier for me to cut because it wasn't going all over the place. So now I have our little stencil here. So the next step is to trace this onto the painter's tape. Probably the most challenging part so far, just because the cardboard underneath wasn't completely smooth, so it was a little hard to keep it straight. Now I have to carefully remove the tape and cut the tree from the tape. Okay, so that is definitely the most challenging part so far because it's tape and it's sticky, so it keeps sticking to the scissors. Plus, I don't have the greatest fine motor skills, so cutting it was definitely a bit of a challenge. But now we want to stick this on a flat side of our mason jar so then we can paint around it, but we need to make sure we get it flat and smooth. The instructions do say to use a credit card to get it real smooth so that hopefully the paint won't bleed through, and they did say they use 2 coats. Now that I'm looking, this tree might be too big for this jar, so I'm going to use the other jar that I have, and then if I do a second one, I will use the smaller tree. While I let that fully dry, I'm going to try to do the other one with the smaller tree in red, and it did come out a little bit streaky, but my mom had said that that happens with this sort of paint, so I don't know if that's something that you can completely avoid. The sponge brush did work very well for me, and just keep in mind that it's very messy and you're liable to get paint everywhere if you're not careful. So maybe lay out some newspapers or something so that you don't get paint everywhere. All right, I am back. It's a while later now. I had some dinner and wanted to give things time to completely dry. And off camera, I did remove the Christmas tree from the green one just to make sure that I could do it okay. And I think it turned out quite nice. I put the little fairy lights in there, which might be hard to see with my lights on right now, but I'll get a better close-up without so much light so you can see it better. But I think it turned out well. I think I might use something to put on the bottom to cover up the base of the lights and also just decorate it a little bit more. Maybe put some ornaments in the bottom of there or something like that. So I will probably give that a try. But it really wasn't too difficult, and it's kind of a fun and neat decoration to have. And like I said, you have so many options of what you can put inside. I just thought that the lights would be pretty. But now I'm going to do the other one on camera for you. Now, the other one, because of its shape, was a little bit more challenging to paint. So it may not come out quite as well as the green one, but let's take a look. And you can kind of see the places where it wasn't perfectly cut and some of the paint kind of bled over, but you can just kind of easily pick that off. And this Christmas tree is definitely not as nicely cut as the other one, but I think it still works. And in case you're wondering, I just got these little battery operated lights at Walmart. So there you go, there are the finished products, and looking at them now with the lights in them, I think they could have used potentially another coat, but then I also don't know if this paint is just that streaky that it might not have made a difference. But I like the way that they turned out, especially for someone that's not experienced in crafts or DIY. And I hope that you enjoyed it and got something out of it. It's a simple, create-at-home, inexpensive Christmas decoration that you can make, and it doesn't take a lot of time other than waiting for the drying. But it went better than I expected, and I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. I thought it would be something fun and different for the 12 Days of Christmas, something I haven't done before. And if you'd like to see any other somewhat simple DIY videos from me throughout next year, then please let me know that. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you the day after tomorrow for day 5.